No, 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 no. N-O, the international word for no. You should never do that. Oh my God. Hey guys, it's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to my channel. On this channel, I talk about things I find interesting. And today, before I get to the video, this is Benji, my current foster. He just got adopted today. He's very excited. He will be going home next Friday. But this is the PSA portion of the video. Just real quick, if you are an animal lover like me, I would beg and plead and implore you to consider fostering for your local animal shelter or rescue, because fosters are the life's blood of those organizations. And millions of adoptable, healthy pets are killed or euthanized in shelters every year for a simple lack of space and resources. And so if more people would foster, more animals would get to live. And that's all I have to say about that. So today we are going to head over to the I Regret Having Children Facebook page. And I haven't checked out this page in a while, so we're going to read some stories. I have no idea what's about to happen because I haven't read these previously, so let's get into it. These are obviously posted anonymously, and this one was posted 7 hours ago. Today is December 22nd. Happy winter solstice yesterday on the 21st. Okay. This woman says, I absolutely hate being a mother. Never wanted a child and always stood firm on that until I got pregnant when I was married and didn't find out until it was too late for an abortion. Oh my God. That just gets my guts, you know, especially in this political climate. I always think of how Gen X women, at least me, just took it for granted that, bodily autonomy and the ability to get abortion health care would always be there. And it's really crazy these days. So anyway, I just feel for this poor woman. She goes on, the father and I have been separated for 3 years, and he's married again now. Our son listens to his dad and his stepmom, but constantly acts up for me. The state I live in won't let me voluntarily give up my rights. Wow, I wonder what state. I think the only way I can stop being his mother is if his stepmom adopts him. But I'm conflicted because as much as I hate being a mother, I still love my son. And it seems like everyone who writes into these forums and says they really hate being a parent, they kind of all say, but I love my children. And that like makes me feel better that they all say it. I don't know. I mean, how could you not love something that came from you? I guess I could relate. I would be one of those people if I had been forced to have kids and all of that. Okay, she goes on. But I'll give you examples of how he acts up with me. 1, literally can't take him anywhere because as soon as we leave our apartment and get to the lobby, he's running around, not listening, getting into everything, throwing a tantrum, and talking back. I tried to redirect him, but after several unsuccessful attempts, I end up yelling, which makes the staff give me dirty looks. I'd never abused my son, but I'm terrified of being thrown in jail for yelling at him or spanking him. yeah, I could see myself snapping like that, and that's probably why this lady said she never wanted kids. And she goes on too. This morning, he damn near pissed himself because he absolutely refused to walk to the bathroom by himself. We're in a studio, and the bathroom is literally 5 feet from his bed. There's even a window in there that lets in a lot of light. Yet, when he's at his dad's, he'll walk through a legit, completely dark void of any natural light's room, then down a dark hallway into a dark bathroom that doesn't have a window by himself. Number 3, when I put him in timeout, he'll literally refuse to stand still. He gives me an attitude that makes me pissed that I didn't get the chance. Oh my God. He gives me an attitude that makes me pissed that I didn't get the chance to abort him, and he'll throw a tantrum. Normally, this would be manageable, but I have to watch everything I do and how loud we get because there's security in the hallway that'll waste no time calling the police. This woman sounds like she's headed off the deep end. So I am scared to spank him, and therefore I'll just give up on his time out because I'm so stressed out with him crying and the constant fear of having the police arrest me. God, this poor woman. She's having a really hard time. How old is this kid? Did she say? I don't think she said. Okay. Number 4, my son misbehaves in public to the point where I now refuse to even take him to the park. Oh, but he's an absolute angel for his stepmom. This seriously pisses me off. Yeah, that would really annoy me. And especially since she didn't want to have children. Ugh, God, what a horrible situation to be in. She goes on, I'm just over being a parent, but I have no options to legally remove myself from his life. And between his BS and my depression, I feel like my only way out is to take myself out. Well, I mean, she could move, right? She could move by herself to another state. Does anyone have a suggestion on how to make my life as a parent any better? I absolutely hate this for myself, but he deserves a good mom, and I don't know how to be that for him. I was raised by a woman who also had no business having children. I say raised because even though she was present, she was always drunk, so she wasn't actually present. Thanks in advance, Anonymous. And there's 230 comments. Ava Saxone says, Jesus, let the stepmom adopt him. This is messed up. He's just being a 3-year-old. Yes, he is just being a 3-year-old. I mean, if the stepmom wanted to adopt him, I would say, sure, go for it. Let him live with the parents that he seems to like. No shame in that. It's not like she planned to get pregnant or wanted to be pregnant or had any other options. She said she, didn't find out. It's really crazy how I've known women who went into labor and didn't know they were pregnant. Were at a wedding, and had cramps and went to the ER and their stomach was flat. It's crazy what the human body can do. Okay. Abigail Miller comments, these are all normal behaviors. It's not his fault. You don't have the mental capability to handle it. Let the stepmom adopt him because at least then he can be properly cared for and you can go on living your life. Yeah. Win-win. Hannah Michelle says, you absolutely can sign your rights to stepmom if she agrees to adopt him. I believe the way it has to work is that she petitions the court for an adoption, you agree to rescind your rights, and if everyone is on the same page, the process should be quite smooth. Do you know if she's interested in adopting him? As you mentioned, you love your son. Sending him to live with 2 enthusiastic parents one of whom is his actual biological father, is an act of love. Agreed. If things are friendly between you, the ex, and the stepmom, it should be relatively easy for you to remain in his life for visits and holidays. That would make the transition smoother and easier for him to cope with, if you can all manage it. But yes, in short, it's very possible to allow stepmom to adopt him. If I were you, I'd research the process and get it started. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it isn't the right move. Very sensible comments on these posts. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this next post, I actually did happen to read it yesterday. And it's just so heart wrenching that I have to read it. Okay, this is from yesterday. I'm a failure, and so is my adult child. My daughter is 26, and she lives at home with us, my husband and I. We never had a problem with her living with us in her adulthood. We actually wanted her to, so she can raise some money enough for a down payment in the future or something productive. She is severely depressed, and we don't know what to do as she lays in bed all day in the darkness. That's serious fucking depression. This girl sounds like she needs to be in a hospital. She lost touch with all of her friends, flunked out of college, and refuses to work. We don't want her to work so she can contribute. My husband has that covered. Oh, that's nice. We wanted her to work so she can build a resume and make a career. She doesn't sound like she's fit to do much of anything. No matter what field she goes into, she quits within a couple of weeks or gets fired. She was diagnosed with ADHD when she was 11, and she also refuses to take her medication. She has also gotten obese. God, this poor girl. She is a hot mess. 26. This has nothing to do with beauty, as she is always beautiful, but I'm just worried about her health because she also has insulin resistance that she does not take care of. With the allowance that we give her, she spends it all on fast food. My God, this girl is like spiraling toward the bottom. My husband and I don't know how to lead this girl as we support her the absolute best we can. She just exists and does not live. It really sounds like she would do well from hospitalization, at least temporarily, in my humble opinion, of course. Kicking her out is, of course, not an option. The reason I wrote in this subreddit specifically is because I regret when she was younger. My husband and I would work like dogs, and both of us had 2 jobs each. We only saw our kid 1 to 2 hours a day. My mom took care of her. We couldn't afford a nanny. My mom and daughter could never get along, and they fought a lot. Well, God, no wonder this poor girl is depressed like this. She started getting depressed after my mom started taking care of her. I think this contributed to a lot of the reasons why she is the way she is today. We don't know what to do. And in the comments, Rachel Grove says, the people saying she just needs to be thrown out of the house are the reason there is such a homelessness crisis in the world. Interesting. Bailey Coates says, what is she doing to earn an allowance? If nothing else, she should be seeing multiple mental health professionals. Yes, thank you. She can earn an allowance by following her medication plan along with anything else the professionals recommend. She also needs something to do. Yes. Even if it's a very low hour part-time job, hobby, or volunteering at a shelter. I like the way this girl thinks. She needs a reason to get up and get dressed on a regular basis. You could start by helping her make a schedule. Start off easy. Yes, and I don't know if I've told this story on this channel before. I probably have, but I went through a real bad period of depression right after I got out of acting school. mainly because I did not get invited to be in the third year company. And my mom had me make a to-do list every morning that was absolutely basic, like get up, put on robe, take a shower, whatever, for the whole day, whatever I was doing. And it really does work because you get a little hit of dopamine as you check off from the to-do list. So, okay, well, just read a couple of these comments. Lauren Campbell says, therapy, massive amounts from a really good provider, at least once a week, if not more. No more allowance. She needs to be at least looking for a job, has a part-time one, or must be going to school for you to continue to allow her to live there. You're the parent. Act like it. Hell yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, moving on to next post. This is from 2 days ago. Weekends are pure suffering. I have a relatively easy job in IT, and I'm grateful for it. But when the weekend comes, I feel miserable. I really don't like the way my life is right now. I have 2 boys, almost 3 and 4. Oh my God. And my wife is often angry. I use THC to cope for a while, but my wife strongly opposes it, so I quit to avoid conflict. While it keeps the peace, it's been incredibly hard to manage without it. I live with constant regret, and my wife feels the same. I catch myself daydreaming about a life without kids or even being single, but there's no escaping the reality that any decision we make would impact the kids. Okay, so yeah, people always want to stay together for the kids, the kids, the kids. But I always think to myself, like, when your kids are grown up, would you want them to be this miserable in a marriage? Is that what you want to model for your kids, basically? And obviously, everybody's circumstances are different, but that whole thing about we stayed together for the kids, what does that mean? A lot of time, it's not the best thing. In my opinion, of course. She goes on, he goes on, whether we stay together and continue to struggle or decide to separate, they will suffer in some way. I don't want to make a selfish, impulsive decision. I want to do the right thing, so I'm committed to sticking it out. But this is so, so hard, and I feel completely lost. I just don't know what to do. These poor people are so desperate. It really makes me wonder, people didn't just start regretting having children. I wonder if social media had been available throughout the past, how many people would feel this way. Hannah Strickland says, if you only have to feel this way 2 days a week, who is taking care of them the other 5 days? That's probably why she's angry. And then Cynthia Rhodes says, yeah, this man not only doesn't love his kids, but he does not love his wife either. What a loser. Chris Cherdo comments, Hannah Strickland, does she work? If he's supposed to work all day and then come home and take care of a baby, that's insane. He will hate his life even more. And so they're bickering about the guy's circumstances. Katie Lynn responded to the original post, don't stay together and suffer for the kids. They will grow to resent you. Yes, brilliant. Separate and get your life together. I'm going to give that a heart because that is how I feel too. Miranda Deaton says, you have a life that should be honored also. Very good point. Don't let it pass you by. Weigh what matters to you. Weigh what matters to you most and make selfish decisions if you have to. It seems you still have pride in being a good father. You can still do this and make your own life choices. If your wife is so against your one vice, maybe she's the problem. Hell yeah. I suggest couples therapy to see if the relationship should continue. As for having children to raise, I can't speak much on that. Reach out to family members or friends who could take the kids for a few hours every other week just for alone time. Bless you, and I hope for the best. Sheila K says, this sucks and is the unspoken reality for millions of people. Yes, but they're getting out on these forums and talking about it, and that is so encouraging to see. Because it makes people think about having kids. How will it change your life? What will it entail? You know, um, people have gone into having kids just blindly because it's what you're supposed to do, and a lot of people still do that today. And so that is why I read these stories. It's not to mock or shame these folks in any way, but if one person decides uh, not to just blindly have children and to keep their life to themselves, um, you know, I'm all for it. Sheila K goes on, if only people were honest about this versus spewing the false narrative of parenting being a utopia wrapped in rainbows. Very true. And let's do one more. This post, I think this person does not have children. So they say, everyone almost that I know that has children seems to regret them, struggle terribly as parents, or has experienced the ruin of their marriage due to having kids. One example is a couple I know that was considering divorce because she cheated. They instead decided to try for a baby. No, 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 no. N-O, the international word for no. You should never do that. Oh my God. She goes on, or they go on, they don't seem happier. And it confuses me that trying for a child was a logical option. No, because it's not. The child also has development issues. Oh, gosh. Another couple I know, he cheated during both pregnancies. What a dick. She's staying in the marriage, but is still angry and struggling to forgive him. Oh, my goodness. No, thanks. Now they're pregnant again intentionally. I I will never understand that logic. I mean, I guess that's, one way to lock a person down is to keep on having children. In fact, that's a excellent way to do it. It's what humans have been doing from time immemorial. They go on. It scares me that she keeps doing the same thing, expecting different results. Another couple almost ended their relationship. Then they had a child. Father became alcoholic, mother desperate for help with the baby. She threatened to leave again. They had another child. Why? 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 They had another child. She threatened to leave again. Father kept drinking and playing video games. Children are physically violent with one another, but lots of social media posting of we're so blessed. Oh God, that's so terrible. She goes on, they go on. I'm sorry I keep saying that. I guess I just don't get it. Obviously not everyone feels this way, but these are real people I know in my personal life. It doesn't exactly make having children seem very appealing because the reality is it's not, especially in this day and age. Uh, Karine Stephans commented, every mother I know is struggling in some aspect, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, or spiritually. Every mother I know tells me not to have kids and that having kids is overrated. Not all that it's cracked up to be, how everyone tries to put it. The mothers I know tell me if they could start all over, they would never even have had kids. Oh, and that is like a that's like an advertisement for be a dog mama, be a cat mama, be a horse mama. It really bugs me, like on Mother's Day, how there's always some jerk on Facebook saying you have to you have to have human children, or you have to have given birth to be considered a mother or whatever, because there are a lot of women now who very proudly say Happy Mother's Day to all the fur baby mamas, because that's maternal love, and no one can convince me otherwise. Okay, Katie Lynn comments on this. I'm in the same position. I see this all the time in my real life. Ironically, it seems like everyone I know from high school that had a child early on is now separated from their partner. Why decide after bringing a kid into the mix? You now say we're not fit to be together? You would have saved yourself the heartache of not being a family. No co-parenting, and you could focus on yourself until you found someone better. Yeah, but that's hardly goes along with human nature. Lourdes 11. Children aren't a requirement, and they don't fix relationships or individuals. People need to be more considerate to the life they are bringing into this world. They require a lot of work, time, patience, money, and stability. And that's a brilliant comment. And so I am just going to leave it at that, um, because that's like the whole point of these videos is don't have don't have children before your frontal lobe is developed, and that's not till 25 or 26. Like, think about what you're doing. Anyway, if you made it this far, I thank you so much. If you like this video, please like it. Thanks for stopping by to hang out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.